More Nvidia graphics cards are on the way, and it looks like not just for the desktop, but laptops too. Let's discuss that in this video. Hey, if you enjoy content like this, drop a like, make sure to subscribe, and smash that bell so you never miss another video. Hey, what is going on guys? Danny here, welcome back to the channel and I hope you've all been doing well. In this video, we're going to be discussing some news and rumors that have surfaced on the internet surrounding upcoming Nvidia graphics cards. To recap, Nvidia has so far launched 4 graphics cards for their Geforce RTX 3000 series, those being the RTX 3090, 3080, and 3070, which were announced in September, then launched the following weeks. Afterwards, on December 1st, Nvidia launched the RTX 3060 Ti graphics card, which I actually did a review of, and so far from the entire stack, it's actually my favorite GPU because of the great value it offers. That is, if you can actually find it near MSRP, or any of those cards in stock for that matter. It's honestly just astonishing at this point that we're still having supply issues for these next-gen graphics cards, and because of that, prices for these GPUs are still well above MSRP. Unfortunately, though, it doesn't seem like the situation is going to get any better anytime soon, as recently at the Swiss Financial Services Conference, Nvidia CFO Colin Kress mentioned that Samsung, who manufacture these RTX 3000 chips, are undergoing a wafer shortage, and to make matters worse, there are shortages of other components as well, such as substrates and DRAM, specifically mentioning that we continue to work during the quarter on our supply, and we believe though that demand will probably exceed supply in Q4 for overall gaming, but she did mention that they do expect the supply to catch up to the demand in the following months, but couldn't provide any hard dates or quantify it for that matter. So while this is quite disappointing to hear, it's not surprising either. I mean, if you've been living under a rock for this past year, you'll know that currently we're going through a global health crisis, which has greatly impacted all sectors and industries from manufacturing, logistics, services, and so on. I mean, just take a look at AMD with the RX 6000 series. They're in an even dire situation than Nvidia. Just today, I saw my local CC list an RX 6800 non-XT for $1,000 Canadian, which is insane considering that's significantly higher than MSRP after conversion and costs more than some RTX 3080s, so buying GPUs just sucks right now. However, with that said, that's still not stopping Nvidia from letting off the gas pedal from rolling out new products, and it looks like next month we could possibly see more GPU announcements. Nvidia just recently on their website and on social media made a post that they will be hosting a special Geforce Rtx event on the 12th of January 2021, and underneath the message it says, "Join us as we unveil the latest innovations in gaming and graphics." As for the date, it appears that it will be occurring after the first day of CES 2021. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean it's an event where they will launch more new GPUs, but there could be numerous announcements and showcases which they could include in this event. It can be stuff like new graphics features for games, more game announcements or partnership of sorts, but they could also include a hardware launch or two. We'll have to wait and see, but there is some information out there that indicates that Nvidia could use this event to announce new GPUs. Last week I made a video discussing some GPU IDs that had been leaked from HP's OEM drivers, which include GPUs such as the RTX 3080 Ti, RTX 3070 Ti, RTX 3060, and RTX 3050. Link for that video will be below. I also said that if an OEM such as HP was working on drivers for these cards, then it could be likely that an announcement might be around the corner. They must have had some sort of access to the hardware if they're already working on drivers for them. Now, adding on to that, on the 11th of December, Komachi, who's a very well-known hardware leaker, posted that AIDA64's latest beta update added support for unannounced Nvidia hardware. So starting from the top, we've got the RTX 3050 GA107, RTX 3060, this is the non-Ti version, which is based on the GA106 chip, and then followed by some mobile parts with different variants, which we'll get to later on in this video. And then we've got the RTX 3080 Ti, but unfortunately no RTX 3070. AIDA64 is a well-known software used by PC gamers and hardware enthusiasts. It includes all kinds of various tools from software monitoring, stress test utilities, and benchmarks often used by reviewers. So often you'll see these kinds of programs like AIDA64 or Hardware Info push out updates based on preliminary information and data that's out, such as publicized PCIe IDs. But again, if the software devs are adding this information to their application at this time, it could very well mean that the hardware release will come relatively soon. Another story I wanted to talk about, and this article was posted a little while ago from Igor from Igor's Labs, and they've got some information to share with us regarding the RTX 3080 Ti and RTX 3060. They first mentioned that the RTX 3080 Ti has been delayed, where originally it was assumed that this GPU would probably be announced at CES 2021 next month, but because of all the issues I talked about earlier, such as supply, Nvidia will delay it to February or sometime later in Q1, which would mean either March. Now, as for specs, we've known for a while now that essentially the RTX 3080 Ti is just an RTX 3090 with 20GB of G6X memory and a slightly slimmer memory bus. I even expressed this in my last video that honestly there is not much to be excited for when it comes to the RTX 3080 Ti. It's not like it's going to be offering any new performance figures that cards on the market already can't achieve. It's just there to fill in that gap between the RTX 3080 and 3090 and compete against the RX 6900 XT at the $999 price point. I know many people are quick to point out that the RX 6800 XT looks like a better buy than the RTX 3080, which only has 10GB of VRAM versus 16, but if you actually go ahead and take a look at reviews, many sites show that the RTX 3080 pulled ahead of the RX 6800 XT and even the RX 6900 XT at 4K, which is a much heavier GPU bound resolution and much heavier on VRAM. But despite having 10GB, it seems to be doing just fine for now, and I suspect it'll be fine for at least until Ampere remains a relevant generation in the GPU market. So that's why I think Nvidia isn't in any rush to push out this new GPU, as they can comfortably wait until they've sorted out other problems that take higher priority, like their supply issues. AMD also isn't selling well, as they've got even lower supply than Nvidia and don't necessarily beat them by a mile or anything, just trade blows in traditional rasterization performance while losing to them in ray trace titles and have no answer yet for DLSS. Along with that, since this will be a GA102 chip with a large die size, it'll be hard for them to manufacture this GPU and accumulate supply, as they're already going through a wafer shortage with Samsung. So there, of course, are a lot of factors involved, and I can see why Nvidia might choose to delay the RTX 3080 Ti. If you ask me, it's for the better. I don't see many people waiting for this GPU, as it's already tough enough to buy a regular RTX 3080. As for the RTX 3060 non-Ti, this will be the lower end mid-range GPU that Nvidia will release, probably targeting the $300 to $350 price point. And this GPU will be announced probably at the Geforce event in January and will come in two variants. The first one being a graphics card with 6GB of VRAM and the second one having 12. So that'll be interesting, as this lower end mid-range card will have more VRAM than an RTX 3060 Ti with 8 and the RTX 3070. But I feel like the reason why Nvidia did this is because they wanted a more compelling product against AMD's RX 6700 XT, which will also have 12GB of G6 memory. Not that it really matters though, as a graphics card of this caliber won't even have enough power to utilize that full VRAM and, play at high resolutions like 4K or modern AAA titles with acceptable frame rates. As for performance, I believe this card should perform about as fast as an RTX 2070 Super, which for $300, if that is the MSRP, definitely wouldn't be a bad deal, but we'll see how Nvidia positions this. Moving on, and I want to briefly talk about those mobile chips that were spotted. Now, I'll be upfront with you guys, I don't really pay too much attention to the mobile hardware, as I'm not a mobile or on-the-go gamer. I would much rather prefer to do my gaming on a desktop at home, but I understand that there is a huge market for people who would rather just have one machine they can use for both work and game. So having that portability and 2-in-1 option for them can be really convenient and accommodating. Now, I had anticipated that we'd start seeing information and leaks pop up about manufacturers releasing laptops soon with new mobile RTX 30 series GPUs. In fact, with CES coming up, I believe that we'll see AMD and Intel announce new mobile chips based on Zen 3 Cezanne and Tiger Lake respectively. This will give their partners like ASUS, MSI, Gigabyte the opportunity to promote and showcase many new SKUs that will have these new CPUs and GPUs in them. And this is actually pretty exciting because we're going to be seeing a good leap in laptops when it comes to performance, as they'll get these new awesome CPUs with faster cores and GPUs based on Nvidia's new Ampere architecture. There will be some seriously fast new gaming laptops hitting the market that will enable gamers to enjoy high resolution or high refresh rate gaming. In fact, MSI's new Stealth GS76 laptop, I believe, has a 360Hz screen, which is just insane considering that's way higher than what most dedicated gaming monitors give you. Recently, we saw VideoCard spot a laptop with an RTX 3070 mobile GPU from the V-Ray benchmark database, and it appears to perform quite well compared to the previous generation mobile parts. So not only are we going to be getting laptops that are going to be excellent for gaming, but will also offer immense performance for content creators such as video editors on the go. I believe that Nvidia's Geforce Gaming event, much of it will be focusing on new laptops with these new mobile Ampere GPUs. CES is actually going to be a very exciting time for anyone who's in the laptop market and wants a capable yet portable machine. I'll be looking very much forward to it. I hope you guys found this video to be informative and helpful. Let me know your thoughts down below. Check out the video description on ways to support the channel and for my other videos. If you guys are interested in more content like this, then make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one.